Greetings everyone to Sai, the global misfit. In life, society really, people create deities and gods to feel less alone. To be assured that the pain and suffering that they go through in this life will amount to something after death. However, there is doubt on if there is a higher being, a higher power, if there is actually someone out there looking out for us. What if I told you there is someone, and she's alive right now? What if I told you her name was Colleen Hoover? Colleen Hoover is the messiah of book talk. She is ubiquitous with all conversations involving smut. She's huge. I cannot describe the amount of popularity this lady has. She is Stephen King in the 2020s as he was in the 1980s. There are like 20 other movies being made right now from her work, which boggles the mind because I see a lot of mixed reactions to her work on TikTok a lot.
My son is beautiful. I turn to my husband and I say, wow, we have such a beautiful son. My husband says, well, he got the beautiful part from you. He got my big balls.
Since when has something bad been public? Don't answer that. So as a person who's never read a book by Colleen Hoover, or a book really, last book I read is Diary of the Wimpy Kid. It's a banger. I wanted to give Colleen a chance to prove the doubters, to prove the haters, to prove the naysayers wrong. So I googled what was the best book to start off with, and Ugly Love came up. So if you do not know what Ugly Love is, let me explain it to you real quick. When Tate Collins meets airline pilot Miles Archer, she knows it isn't love at first sight. They wouldn't even consider themselves friends. The only thing they have in common is a mutual attraction. So they find a way to circumvent this attraction. He doesn't want love. She doesn't have time for love. So that only leaves one thing: sex. The only rule is, don't ask about the past and don't expect a future. They think they can handle it, but turns out they can't. Before moving any further, subscribe to our community, The Misfits. Now back to the video. Ugly Love by Colleen Hoover.
Yes, bad Colleen.
Chapter 1, Tate. No correlation with Tate McRae. Just wanted to avoid any confusion. Somebody stabbed you in the neck, young lady. My eyes widen and I slowly turn towards the elderly gentleman standing at my side. He presses the up button on the elevator and faces me. He smiles and points to my neck. Your birthmark, he says. My hand instinctively goes up to my neck and I touch the dime-sized mark just below my ear. My grandmother used to say, the placement of a birthmark was a story of how a person lost the battle in their past life. Well, you don't want to know where my birthmark is. My dick. Yep, my dick. I guess you got stabbed in the neck. Bet it was a quick death, though. I smile, but I can't tell if I should be afraid or entertained. Despite his somewhat morbid opening conversation, he can be that dangerous. His curved posture and shaky stance give away that he isn't a day less than 80 years old. He takes a few slow steps towards one of two velvet red chairs that are positioned against the wall next to the elevator. He grunts as he sinks into the chair and then looks up at me again. You're going up to floor 18? My eyes narrow as I process his question. He somewhat knows what floor I'm going to, even though this is the first time I even set foot into this apartment complex. And it's definitely the first time I've ever laid eyes on this man. Yes, sir, I say cautiously. Do you work here? I do indeed. He nods his head towards the elevator, and my eyes move to the illuminated numbers overhead. 11 floors to go before it arrives. I pray it gets here quickly. I push the button for the elevator, he says. I don't think there's an official title for my position, but I like to refer to myself as the flight captain, considering I do send people as high as 20 stories up in the air. This dude is super duper sus and super weird. Man, those people are just so weird for no reason. I smile at his words since my brother and father are both pilots. How long have you been flight captain of this elevator? I ask as I wait. I swear this is the slowest damn elevator I've ever encountered. Since I got too old to do maintenance on this building. working here 32 years before I became captain. Been sending people on flights now for more than 15 years, I think. Oda gave me a pity job to keep me busy till I died. He smiles to himself. What he didn't realize is that God gave me a lot of great things to accomplish in my life, and right now I'm so far behind, I ain't ever gonna die. I find myself laughing when the elevator doors finally open. I reach down to grab the handle of my suitcase and turn to him one more time before I step inside. What's your name? Samuel, but call me Cap, he says. Everybody else does. You got any birthmarks, Cap? He grins. As a matter of fact, seems with my past life, I was shot right in the ass. Must have bled out. Is there like an HR guy at this place? Why is this dude so weird? Next, he's gonna tell us about his colonoscopy. I smile and bring my hand to my forehead, giving him a proper captain salute. I step into the elevator and turn around to face the open doors, admiring the extravagance of the lobby. This place seems more like a historic hotel than an apartment complex, with its expansive columns and marble floors. When Corbin said I could stay with him until I found a job, I had no idea he lived like an actual adult. I thought it would be so much for the last time I visited him, right after I graduated from high school, back when he had first started working towards his pilot's license. That was 4 years and 2 story sketchy complex ago. That's kind of what I was expecting. I certainly wasn't anticipating a high-rise smack dab in the middle of downtown San Francisco. I find the panel and press the button for the 18th floor, then look up at the mirrored wall of the elevator. I spent all day yesterday and most of this morning packing up everything I own from my apartment back to San Diego. Luckily, I don't know much. I'm a broke ass bitch. Doesn't say that, anyway. But after making the solo 500-mile drive today, my exhaustion is pretty evident in my reflection. As soon as the elevator doors begin to close, they open again. A guy is rushing towards the elevators, preparing to walk on as he acknowledges the old man. Thanks, Cap, he says. I can't see Cap from inside the elevator, but I hear him grunt something in return. The Cap just ejaculated everywhere. Classic Cap. He doesn't sound nearly as eager to make small talk with this guy as he was with me. Yes, he was trying to have sex with you. This man looks to be in the late 20s at most. He grins at me, and I know exactly what's going through his mind, considering he just slid his left hand into his pocket, the hand with the wedding ring on it. Maybe he's just a little chilly. Floor 10, he says, without looking away from me. His eyes fall to what little cleavage is peeking out of my shirt. Mind you, she's wearing like a turtleneck, so... And then he looks at the suitcase by my side. I press the button for floor 10. Moving in, he asks blatantly, staring at my shirt again. This dude is just looking at her boobs. I'm sorry, how are you, Miss Titties? I mean, moving in, he asked, blatantly staring at my shirt. I nod, although I doubt he notices considering his gaze isn't planted anywhere near my face. Maybe she has like one of those like symbiotic, like, people, like, sticking out of her neck area. So like maybe she's got like a, like you know, in a fetus, like when they eat their sibling, and maybe that sibling like connected to her, and now it's growing. What the fuck am I talking about? Oh no, you don't. I reach beside me and cover all the buttons on the panel with my hands to hide the illuminated 18th floor button. I press every single button between floors 10 and 18. He glances at the panel confused. None of your business, I say. He laughs. He thinks I'm kidding. He arches his dark, thick eyebrow. It's a nice eyebrow. It's attached to a nice face, which is attached to a nice head, which is attached to a nice body. Colleen Hoover showing us those writing skills. Alliteration. A married body. Asshole. He grins seductively. I can feel those sodden panties just drop. Only I wasn't checking him out the way he thinks I was. In mind, I was wondering how many times that body has been pressed against a girl who wasn't his wife. I feel sorry for his wife. He's looking at my cleavage again. I can help you with that, he says, nodding towards my suitcase. His voice is nice. I wonder how many girls have fallen for that married voice. He walks towards me and reaches to the panel, bravely pressing the button that closes the door. I hold his stare and press the button to open the doors. I've got it. He nods as if he understands that there's a wicked gleam in the eyes that reaffirm my immediate dislike of him. He steps out of the elevator and turns to face me before walking away. Catch you later, Tate. Cue and Ben Affleck from Batman vs. Superman. Why did you say that name? He says just as the doors close. I frown, not comfortable with the fact that the only two people I've interacted with since walking into this apartment building already know my name. This is like an invasion of the body snatchers thing. I remain alone on the elevator as it stops on every single floor until it reaches the 18th. I step off, pull my phone out of my pocket, and open to see the messages from I sent to Colvin. I can't remember which apartment number he said it was. Was it 1816 or 1814? Maybe it was 1826. I come to a stop at 1814 because there's a guy passed out on the floor of the hallway, leaning against the door in 1816. Please don't let it be 1816. The message on my iPhone and cringe. It's 1816. Of course it is. I walk slowly to the door, hoping I don't wake up the guy. His legs are sprawled out in front of him and is leaning with his back propped up against Corbin's door. His chin is tugged to his chest. He's snoring. Excuse me, I say, my voice just above the whisper. He doesn't move. I lift my leg and poke his shoulder with my foot. I need to get into the apartment, please. He rustles, then slowly opens his eyes and stares straight ahead at my legs. His eyes meet my knees, and his eyebrows furrow as he slowly leans forward with a deep scowl on his face. He lifts a hand and pokes my knee with his finger, almost as if he's never seen a knee before. Back in the olden days, if we're talking the 1800s, like a woman could just show her fucking ankle, and most dudes would probably goon to it. That like they could have like if OnlyFans existed, they just show off like their ankles or like their wrists, right? That would like sell for like millions of dollars. He drops his hand, closes his eyes, and falls back asleep against the door. Great. Corbin won't be back until tomorrow, so I dial his number to see if this guy is someone I should be concerned about. Tate, he asks, answering his phone with a hello. Yep, I reply, made it safe, but I can't get in because there's a drunk guy passed out in front of the door. 1816, he asks. You sure you're at the right apartment? Positive. You sure he's drunk? Positive. Weird. He says, what's he wearing? Why do you want to know what he's wearing? If he's wearing a pilot's uniform, he probably lives in the building. The complex contracts with our airline. This guy isn't wearing any type of uniform, but I can't help but notice that his jeans and black t-shirt do fit him very nicely. No uniform, I say. I'd have to move him. He'll fall inside if I open the door. He's quiet for a few seconds while he thinks. Just stay on the phone with me until I'm inside your apartment. I enter into the lock and begin to open the door. The drunk guy begins to fall backward with every inch the door opens. He groans, but his eyes don't open again. Too bad he's wasted, I tell Corbin. He's not bad looking. Tate! Just get your ass inside and lock the door so I can hang up. Bitch! I roll my eyes. He's still the same bossy brother he always was. I knew that moving in with him would not be good for our relationship, considering how fatherly he acted towards me when we were younger. However, I had no time to find a job, get my own apartment, and get settled before my new classes started, so it left me with little choice. I'm hoping things will be different between us now. Corbin is 25 and I'm 23. So if we can get along like we did when we were like better than when we were kids, we've got a lot of growing up left to do. I guess that mostly depends on Corbin and whether he's changed since we last lived together. I keep my left hand wrapped tightly around the doorknob and hold the door shut so the guy won't fall completely into the apartment. Corbin, he's too heavy. I'm gonna have to hang up so I can use both hands. No, don't hang up. Just put the phone in your pocket. But don't hang up. I look down at the oversized shirt and leggings I have on. No pockets. You're going in the bra. Ooh, this is like the plot to like some anime so far. This is Corbin makes a gagging sound. Bra boobies. You're not actually going in there like I don't know why she had to clarify it too. Like this is what the Corbin makes a gagging sound as I pull the phone from my ear and shove it inside my bra. I remove the key from the lock and drop it towards my purse, but it misses the fall to the floor. I reach down to grab the drunk guy so I can move him out of the way. Alright, buddy, I say, struggling to pull him away from the center of the doorway. Sorry to interrupt your nap, but I need inside this apartment. I somehow manage to prop him up against the door frame to prevent him from falling into the apartment, and then I push the door open farther and turn to get my things. Something warm wraps around my ankle. I freeze. I look down. Let go of me, I yell, kicking at the hand that's gripping my ankle so tightly I'm pretty sure it might bruise. The drunk guy is looking up at me, and his grip sends me falling backwards into the apartment when I try to pull away from him. I need to get in there, he mutters, just as my butt meets the floor. He makes an attempt to push the apartment door open with his other hand, and this immediately sends me into panic mode. I pull my legs the rest of the way inside, and his hands come with me. I use my free leg to kick the door shut, slamming it directly onto the wrist. Shit, he yells. He's trying to pull his hand back into the hallway with him, but my foot is still pressing against the door. I release enough pressure for him to have his hand back, and then I immediately kick the door all the way shut. I pull myself up and lock the door. The deadbolts and the chain lock as quickly as I can. As soon as my heart rate begins to calm down, it starts to scream at me. My heart is actually screaming at me. Like, remember Ricardio from Adventure Time? That's what's happening. Like, that heart thing from Berserk? Like, one of those, like, memes? Yeah, that's what's happening. In a deep male voice, it sounds like it's yelling, Tate. Tate. Corbin. I immediately look at my chest and pull my phone out of my bra and bring it up to my ear. Tate, answer me. I once then pull the phone several inches from my ear. I'm fine. I say out of breath. I'm inside. I lock the door. Jesus Christ, he says, relieved. You scared me to death. What the hell happened? He was trying to get inside. I lock the door, though. I flip on the living room light and take no more than 3 steps inside before I come to a halt. Good going, Tate. I slowly turn back towards the door and realize I've done. Corbin? I pause. I might have a few things outside that I need. I would just grab them, but the drunk guy thinks he needs to get inside your apartment for some reason. But there's no way I'm opening that door again. Any suggestions? He silent for a few seconds. Would you leave in the hallway? I don't want to answer him, but I do. My suitcase, Christ, Tate, he mutters, and my purse. What the hell? What is your purse doing outside? I might have also left the key to your apartment on the hallway floor. He doesn't respond to that one. He just groans. I'll call Miles and see if he's home yet. Give me 2 minutes. Wait, who's Miles? Miles Morales. Brooklyn's one and only Spider-Man. He lives across the hall. Whatever you do, don't open the door again until I call back. Corbin hangs up, and I lean against his door. I've lived in San Francisco for 30 minutes, and I'm already being a pain in the ass. And that's where we stop for today. This woman is basically the Apple Dumpling Gang all bunched up together. She's the Three Stooges, but as a person. How do I create a reference that this audience will understand? She's like Miranda Dupenchang from Miraculous. There we go. But that is all from me, and that's the spirit. Subscribe.